Hey guys, how we doing? Back at another video from Geekdom 101. We got Gogeta Blue versus Jiren. Now, I personally feel like Gogeta Blue has this, but I'm probably going to be proven wrong, as with most cases. Just taking into effect how Gogeta Blue did against Broly, and then if we take Broly and Jiren, I personally feel like Broly is stronger than Jiren, but then a few of you may argue that also. So, excuse me, my belly is going crazy. Let's see what Geekdom has to say, shall we?
It's Super Bowl Sunday 2020,
My
the matchup
God.
between the Kansas City Chiefs
Okay.
and the San Francisco 49ers. But let's
All right.
discuss an even more intriguing matchup, and that is the matchup between the strongest fusion and the strongest mortal, Gogeta Blue versus Jiren. Who wins this titanic
got
battle?
this.
Gogeta Blue and Jiren, two of the most powerful mortals in the history of Dragon Ball. One is fused and one is not. Who would win in this titanic showdown? The mortal who is stronger than the gods of destruction, or the fusion of the two most powerful Saiyans, with the exception of Broly, ever in Dragon Ball? We're going to discuss that here on this video and clear the air about who is the most
Have we got anyone
powerful,
featured on this?
or more likely talk about who will actually win the fight, because remember, power is not everything.
No.
And joining me on this video, please welcome the power scaler extraordinaire, MJ. Hello.
Oh.
I told you to stop referring to me.
I do that every
yes,
time because
I
I'm like,
back,
oh.
And we've talked about.
I was hoping
Can
it
I
was
call you
Sam.
Geekless
Never
instead?
mind.
Geekless TV is like a hit clone, bro. He's there waiting to come back, you know?
We've talked about Jiren before. We've talked about UI. We've talked about Gogeta on different videos. But now we have Jiren versus Gogeta Blue. So
Yeah,
should be interesting. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, I
Meat
guess we
and
should
potatoes?
talk about
That's a Mux
what
Deku
happened
phrase. How
recently,
dare you say
right?
that?
Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
We need to talk about Super
No,
Dragon
we
Ball
don't.
Heroes. So, in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, because of how well Gogeta performed against Hearts getting the victory, and Jiren and Hit were on the sidelines like freaking, you know, warming the bench pretty much
This
here.
not-
The AOE
this
to
doesn't
Seth
factor
Rollins,
in.
yeah.
I guess you could say that, yeah. It seems like... Who's Buddy Murphy then, bro? Piccolo? Anyways, it's...
This video's gonna be
Don't edit
wacky,
that.
bro.
Don't edit that out. So it seems like people have the wrong idea here. First of all, okay, Super Dragon Ball Heroes is a promotional anime that's done purely to promote
Never
the
take this
Dragon Ball
show
Heroes
in when you're
cards
trying to
coming
scale
out in
stuff,
Japan
man.
for
Nah.
the arcade game that has constant
Nah.
DLC coming out. If you are using Dragon Ball Heroes to power scale Dragon Ball, Dragon
Don't
Ball
do
Z, Dragon Ball GT,
Don't do
Dragon
it.
Ball Super, you gotta be an ostrich and stick your head right down in the sand. The entire
do it.
purpose of Dragon Ball Heroes is to
Fan
promote the card.
fiction.
None of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
We've seen Vegito Blue with Kaioken. We've seen Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. We've seen other fusions lose
Cumber.
to weaker characters like Cumber, and yet Golden Metal Cooler was able to beat Cumber. Nothing in Heroes makes any sense.
No.
You cannot use Dragon Ball Heroes, even though it's a
Don't
promo
do
anime.
it. It's cool, but
almost like
don't
its own
do
video
it.
game. Do not use it to scale Dragon Ball Super. It's a dumb thing to do.
Plus, before we jump into the versus battle, I want to make note of something before people bring this up in the comments. Yes, in the older video that we did with Seth the Programmer on Danny's channel, we did mention that Heroes showcased Ultra Instinct being superior to fusions. But the only reason why we brought that up is because at the time, it was going along with a similar narrative in the Tournament of Power, where we saw many different forms of fusion, K-Fla, Aniraza, etc., and Ultra Instinct was superior to all of them. Ultra Instinct was shown as like the ultimate
The be-all
technique
to end
/ state
all.
of being, and it was being promoted as such. So that's why we brought that up here. So again,
Even the Omen form was stronger than Cave.
exactly, and like you said earlier, we saw a whole bunch of fusions get their asses handed to them by Cumber, and then you
Yeah.
have Goku awaken UI and then just bullies Cumber. So again, it's like you can't really take Heroes too seriously because there's always
You
content.
can't
take it
seriously.
It's a game, dog. You know.
Yeah, do not take it seriously at all, especially not that promo anime. Besides the fact that it's pretty much trash, it's just nothing makes
It's
any
fun to
sense
watch,
in that promo
come
anime.
on,
So
it's
we're
not
going to be
complete
removing Heroes
trash.
from the equation. Now, the other thing I want to discuss before we get into this is Ultra Instinct Goku. Theoretically speaking, I believe that if Goku did tap into Ultra Instinct during Dragon Ball Super Broly, he would have defeated Broly. I think people really need to understand how powerful Ultra Instinct Goku
It's
is,
pretty
especially
intense
when it comes to like the final version of Ultra Instinct, the mastered or completed version. I did do a Strongest in Dragon Ball video on my channel discussing how strong he is. I mean, we're talking about like multi-universal tier level stuff here. He is an animal. And I think Broly would have gotten a quick L had Goku done Ultra Instinct.
Sit down, boy.
Of course, in our video for UI versus Gogeta Blue, we said that UI was more powerful, but now we're going to scale it down a little bit. Let's talk about Gogeta Blue during Dragon Ball Super Broly, that version of Gogeta Blue versus Jiren. Now, Jiren at full power. Who takes this fight in your opinion?
In my opinion, right off the bat, I would lean more towards Jiren, and I think people have to
you're
really
a big Jiren fan, aren't you?
where I'm coming from with that, because...
And they're going to think you're a Jiren fanboy because you are.
Yeah, I am a Jiren fanboy,
but let's use statements from the series to back up your claim.
So, there's tons of evidence that tell us that Jiren is already on the level of God's destruction. Now, they never state that he is straight up stronger than, like, Beerus or, you know, like...
They said he was stronger than God's destruction, but they didn't say which
ones.
One, right? So, it's interesting because there's actually a wanked argument for Jiren. You know, like a highball argument for him, where if you take what Whis had said in episode 110 during the 1 hour special and you combine it with some outside material that talks about him already having power on par with gods of destruction, you know, so not just one, you know, they're talking about multiple gods here. If you take that into consideration, you actually probably could say that Jiren is already on a god of destruction level in his suppressed state during the 1 hour special, and then of course he gets many power-ups, and then he breaks his limits.
So you're saying he's much stronger than...
insanely more powerful. So again, you can just use that as a scale, but that's more of a highball. At the end of the day, Jiren is constantly compared to Gods of Destruction, and we see UI go up against that. And
well, the big question is Gogeta Blue on that level? Now, before we get into that, I just want to say, because I know someone's going to mention this in the comments or whatever, that what about what Goku said at the end of Broly, where he said that Broly's the most powerful guy they ever faced? He said Broly might be stronger than Beerus. And again, we've already debunked that in the Jiren versus Broly video we did a while back. But that, to me, is an irrelevant point because, yes, Gogeta Blue was able to beat Broly, and it wasn't a one-shot defeat.
No, he had to fight him.
Obviously, Dragon Ball fights go on super speed, so it's faster than we could even imagine. They broke the dimensional fabric during that fight. But Gogeta Blue did get the W on Broly. Use basic algebra here. Gogeta Blue being stronger than Broly does not mean that Ultra Instinct Goku wouldn't have slapped Broly. Ultra Instinct Goku is at a higher tier, and we've proven that time after time. But the question is, can Gogeta Blue, who's at a slightly lower tier, beat Jiren? And here's the big factor, I think, is if Jiren has knowledge of fusion, he might be able to figure out a way to postpone the fight or to stall for time,
like time them out,
and eat some of Gogeta's shots, and maybe fight until the fusion runs out, in which case he would win. However, to play devil's advocate, if this fight takes place after the Tournament of Power,
he's just going all out.
Vegeta's minds have both adapted to Jiren. They both
know how he fights.
With Jiren, his fighting style,
interesting,
his power, all these different things. And I feel like at that point,
they'd be completely focused
would have
on
a
him.
Psychological advantage as far as knowing Jiren.
Because they both would. They both would.
So that could also tip it in Gogeta.
Interesting. That's a really interesting point. Damn.
I think that could play a factor, as you mentioned. Usually in these series, when Goku and Vegeta fight somebody, and more specifically shown with Goku, when they fight somebody and they fight him again, or them again, they usually have a better chance.
Yeah, but upper hand because they know how they fight.
And there's like statements in GT and also...
And Zenkai, too.
Zenkai, and then there's statements like in GT, and I believe in Super as well, where you'll hear like Goku state, you know, that move won't work on me again, or, you know, you can't beat me this time. Not going to fall for that for the second time. Just kind of saying, like, his body's adapted to their fighting style. He's adapted to what they are. I will say this, though. One thing that people should understand, and you touched up on this in the... philosophy behind Goku versus Jiren is that people...
Great video, by the way. I'm very proud of it.
People have to remember that Jiren just isn't some tank who is, like, just there. Like, he actually is a pretty knowledgeable fighter, and if you go over what they've told us in the series, you know, he does have a history of training. He was brought up as somebody who's a smart fighter. They've mentioned in the series that none of these guys could have gotten this strong referring to Goku and Jiren, with just usual training. And one of the things that we saw Jiren do in the tournament was he adapted pretty well to Ultra Instinct and was the only character to actually land blows on Ultra Instinct by
just
using
like,
his King Blast and certain ways that he would fight. So, again, when it comes to like an actual head-to-head battle, like both these guys are pretty knowledgeable in the martial arts and they could adapt to each other. So I think one of the big questions here is we didn't see Gogeta Blue at full power. What do you think about a full power Gogeta Blue with the mindset of he needs to finish this fight right now?
Straight away. How do we beat him?
Do you think Jiren can survive a force of that?
I don't think he could.
Well, that's the thing, because if it's going to be one of those things where if he goes for like a big Kamehameha with full power, would that not drain the fusion time?
Oh yeah, the more energy you put out, does it deduct time from it?
In which case, Jiren would either take the Kamehameha and lose, possibly lose, or he might be able to dodge it and move out of the way because he is very fast, probably faster than Broly, but that's another debate we could have in a different video if you want, who's faster. But I feel like if he moves out of the way, Gogeta's screwed. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where this is a tough debate. I want to just say this about this. There's no clear, like, one-shot winner here. Like, anybody who's going to sit there and say, oh, well, Gogeta Blue would stomp him or Jiren would stomp him in, like, 2 shots, that's not happening here, folks.
There's going to be a lot of other
Blue
factors.
And Jiren are so powerful that it's going to be a competitive fight as long as it lasts. It'll be just like Broly, where Broly did not go down. Like, as much as you want to talk about Gogeta Blue being powerful, Broly was eating a lot of Gogeta Blue.
Yeah, he took some hits. Like, he didn't go straight away.
Punishment from this man, or these men, whatever you want to call it.
This fusion.
It's 2-in-1. So I don't know. I feel like a fresh as a daisy Jiren, having knowledge of fusion, might be able to win this fight. But I just think it's a tough call. Like, it really is a tough call. Because we're talking about Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, not Ultra Instinct anything, and the speed advantage that UI gives you is almost like a necessary thing against Jiren, because Jiren only got caught a couple of times with shots. Vegeta was able to get him a few times, so was Goku. Gogeta would obviously be able to hit, but I feel like the speed advantage that UI gives you is beneficial to dodging Jiren's very powerful hammering blows. So I feel like even though Gogeta Blue is fast, I don't see him being as fast as UI. You know what I'm saying? So that could be another factor to talk about. We're going to have to let the comment section decide, and I'm probably going to put a poll up in the upper right-hand corner about who you think's going to win, because this is not an easy debate. This is probably one of the hardest ones we've done, you know, and if you ask me.
When you factor everything in, it is.
Overall, I think an easy way to just simplify this is the fact that even though Ultra Instinct Goku was superior to him, he at least kept up, and he's like the only person in the main continuity that actually like land blows on him, or at least try to adapt to the Ultra Instinct technique. And just because of that alone, if you put him up against a guy who went up against someone who was only comparable to like a Beerus, you could probably might lean more towards Jiren, you know, in that sense. But again, like I said earlier, we haven't seen Gogeta at full power.
I like Geekdom's point though, where like Vegeta and Goku have both fought him intensely.
Who knows what can happen?
Know how he fights.
These are 2 powerhouses.
I feel like
and
if Jiren can
fused
survive
the boost.
the initial onslaught, he's got it. If he can't, he may end up losing, but I don't feel confident enough in saying for sure. I can't pick a side confidently, you know what I mean? Like in the past we've been able to do
not
that.
Not 100% definite on either. That's
let us know
cool.
in the comments what you think, and vote in the upper right-hand corner of the cards. You should be able to pick between Gogeta Blue or Jiren. Obviously, we're talking about Dragon Ball Super Broly era characters, which is right after the Tournament of Power. We don't know how long, but right around that time. Remember, Goku and Vegeta have also been training during that time, and they are stronger than they were in so you have to factor that in as well. We don't know how much stronger, but they are stronger. So thank you, MJ.
Yeah, man, always.
We'll talk to y'all later.
Little bit of a discussion there, that was cool. Make you think we win, don't be a fool. Say you will, don't drool. Hey, 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 hey. What you say? Super Gucci day. Hey. Anyway, that was dumb. Yeah, that was an interesting discussion. I don't like it when it doesn't end on an actual like, but. like they said, that is tough. That is tough when you factor everything in. It's tough. It is tough, and I like how like MJ, like Gogeta was like, "You are a Jiren fanboy," because they've mentioned it a few times. And I'm glad I remember these things. So yeah, I now don't have a definite thing to like say because I think it's quite tough after them factoring all that stuff in anyway. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I thought it was quite enjoyable. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. See you guys. Near